Hi, I'm Rick.
And I'm Derek.
Oh, episode number 6 now.
Number 6. Wow, half a dozen. That's good. How you feeling today?
Wonderful.
Really?
Yeah, happy, satisfied, at peace.
Which brings us to our topic.
Which is not common for me.
Because
I have a depression problem.
Yes.
I have a major depression problem. I've been dealing with it since about 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, diagnosed with depression and PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I had no idea what was happening to me. I was the guy I loved everybody. I got along with everybody. Great sense of humor. And then all of a sudden, I just wasn't happy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing satisfied me. I was always just bummed out.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So, I had an addiction problem. That's how I handled it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Self-medication.
Self-medication.
Okay.
Did not handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, obviously, I went and saw a doctor, psychiatrist. First a therapist, then a psychiatrist.
Right.
And he goes, yes, you absolutely need to be on depression medicine. And I was like, no way. I am way too tough for that, right? I'm mid-30s, early 30s young man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take depression medicine. I don't need it. I've been happy my entire life. What is wrong?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sleeping. I'm having nightmares. I'm just a mess.
Right.
And I have a wife, and now a brand new kid. Right? My relationship was slowly falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer, have children.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was it. Yeah.
That didn't fix anything.
Yeah.
Right? It made things harder for us.
Right.
And obviously, some incredible times.
Mm-hmm.
But what a bummer that I wasn't available because I was in this dark hole.
Yeah. That's tough.
You know?
That's
and tough. I didn't find peace till I finally surrendered. And I went and saw a doctor. And I had to start the basics.
Mm-hmm.
The basics. I took the medicine I was prescribed.
Good.
Okay, and from that it was a slow transition to obviously a recovery of my addiction, and then a continued help with the mental health provider,
Right.
continued help with the therapist,
Mm-hmm.
and then just a daily recovery with myself. And then for me, I found a God, that's my God, and a relationship with Him,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how my life changed. But
Sounds good.
Derek, okay,
Yeah.
well, till next week, we'll see you again. Derek, but what do I do now? Like, how do I just, at this time, maintain that level of peace?
Yeah.
Right?
We call that serenity.
Yeah.
Serenity is a big deal for me. I like that word. Because it's about staying calm in the middle of chaos, right?
Right.
And it's also about staying calm in the middle of boredom and what you're describing as depression. Now, I'm not a doctor. You're not a doctor, right?
No.
You play one on TV, but
yes.
yeah. But the idea is that if you are suffering from clinical depression, you need to get help.
Yes.
It's like having a broken leg. You don't sit there and go, I'm just going to wait for my leg to heal. You have to get help. Mm-hmm. So that's the first and foremost. But I think one of the things about depression, it covers a wide field, and a lot of people that I know who say they're depressed, it's not clinical, it's because nothing's happening in their life. We live in a society, as you can see here, where we're constantly being inundated with information as well as stimulus, okay? And the unstimulated mind will tend to feel depressed.
Right.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing to have boredom and feel that, oh, dude, I don't know. But if you can't get out of bed in the morning, that's a whole nother story.
Right.
What I have found, and I don't suffer from clinical depression, but I do get sad. And what that usually means for me is a form of fear. It comes back to fear for me. See, we talked about this before, where fear turned outwards becomes anger. If I'm afraid, like I'm on the freeway and someone's cut me off, I get mad at that guy because I got to get where I'm going. So I'm afraid and I turn it into anger, fear, outward. But there's this thing that I do more often than that, because I try to manage my anger as best as I can, is this sadness, this self-pity that goes, oh man, she's not treating me right. I deserve better than this. She doesn't love me, and now I'm depressed. But it's fear that I'm not going to be loved.
Right, always.
The thing that helps me is this. Two guys talking to each other. I call up Rick. Hey, Rick, how you doing? I'm okay. And we start to talking. And maybe we're going through the same thing. He's upset with his girl. I'm upset with my girl. And we go, wow. But don't we feel a little bit better now helping each other? That's the surest way for me to get out of that sadness. But there is something, I don't know if it's beneficial, but there is something that can be used in that we can recognize that when we're in that, again, helping other people with it.
All right, we're just saying put other people first.
That is a big deal. It's being selfless. And, this is an old saying that Being selfless isn't thinking less of myself, it's thinking of myself less. Right? I'm not this piece of crap that can't do anything right, although I can be. I have daughters and they remind me of that constantly.
Yes.
And you do too.
I know.
But the idea that if I think of myself less, what can I do to bring something more to the table? How can I help Rick today? You know, what are you going through that we can get through this together? Life is a marathon. It is for the long haul. And there will be those times where it just seems like drudgery. I get up every day and, you know, do the same thing. In fact, last Friday was Groundhog Day, and if you've ever seen that movie, it's the same thing over and over again. And it wasn't until he got out of himself and was able to help other people in this movie, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, that he started to feel better, you know, out of this long, dreary day that he was going through. There are no easy solutions to this. It is, as I've said before, a process.
Right.
But generally speaking, I am not happy, okay? I don't walk around like, hey, let's go do this new fun thing. But I have that serenity. Right. In the midst of things where it's been a long day and work's not going right and, you know, you forgot to turn off the lights and the car won't start or whatever it is, I can go, there's a purpose for this. I can be useful to other people. How do I find that? Like you said, you have God, I have God too. God has allowed me some serenity in the midst of these difficult times. I try not to think about it. You know, I try not to, I think about it, but try not to focus on it. It's like the old adage why I say, you know, don't think about the Eiffel Tower. Boom, it's in your head. See? And now Rick's going to go, I got to go to Paris. I got to go at least to Vegas to look at the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
You don't have to focus on that. You can say, okay, I thought about it. Now let's, you know, move through it and then see what another solution could be. Does that make any sense?
Well, absolutely. You know, a couple things I do is number one is I call someone else first and talk to them and not talk about what I'm going through.
Right.
Number two, I make a gratitude list and see where I'm thankful.
That's huge. Good point. Excellent point. Yes.
And number three, be courageous, courageous, be strong, and ask for help when you need it.
Yeah, and asking for help does not mean you're weak.
No.
You know, there's nothing wrong with needing help. The strongest people find help from other sources and they gain more strength. And yeah, the gratitude list, thank you for bringing that up. That's huge because if you can't be grateful for what you have, be grateful for what you've been spared. The people that didn't wake up this morning, you know, the old adage of that, if, you know, I used to complain about my shoes till I saw the guy with no feet. It doesn't mean that I'm looking for people with no feet so I feel better about my shoes. It simply means that I have to recognize that there are many things that could have happened today that didn't. Right. And when I'm grateful, I start to become happier. Yep. I like that part of it too, and that is huge. So we are grateful that you saw us today. We're grateful for your time, and we appreciate that you will share this with other people.
Yep, that's it.
And that's all for today.
Until next time.
Take care.
Bye.